In this video, we're going to be installing a clutch kit and tracks onto this 2015 Yamaha Viking IV. Got the nice long family bus here. One bolt that's in the middle of this cover fell out. Got some RTV looped on there. I guess they're bolted on. It's from JBS, and it's got Dr. Pulley weights. That's supposed to allow it to shift up higher into a higher gear, and they machined the sheave so it'll actually start out in a lower gear. When we get the other one out, I'll show you, but there's actually a lip, probably better than an 1/8 of an inch up on the other one that the belt actually sits on top of, so this will let it go down in farther and give you a lower starting gear. And that's all I got. I mean, they've got much more extensive ones, but this already has a clutch kit in it for the larger tires, which these weights are also for the, you know, same size tires. I wasn't going to do anything with secondary. All I really want is that lower initial gear. But since it comes with the weights, I'll go ahead and put them on anyways. So yeah, we just got to get down in there. Take this little inner fender, I guess we'll call it, off, and a couple of air ducts in the clutch cover there. Should be pretty straightforward and pretty quick. Probably should have washed it first. These plastic clips, these aren't the original ones. The original ones were like a thread in, but when we did the engine on it, I had a whole bag full of the Honda style ones where they're more of a pry out. They got a lip you can get under, and you can just grab that, pull it out. Those threaded ones don't always thread out, so you end up having to rip them out. And even if you try to apply pressure, you can get some of them to thread out that work, but not all of them. Where these seem to just pop the head off, pull the back out. What's up over here, maybe? That's pretty good. Okay, I got the tire out of the way. Let me get in here. Wow! Some of the mud down here makes that plastic brittle. Both these ones are just breaking. Oh, there's another one. Forgot about that one. Let's try again. I gotta get this duct off and this duct off. So I got a couple plastic clips here, a couple that bolted or plastic clip, I don't know, something over here, and yeah, the clamps. So we'll get to work on those. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now we got to take this, tear it apart, and basically put this cover and this stator in the other one, along with the new weights. Oop. Before I forget, let's show what I was talking about earlier. You can see this boss here, how much farther up it holds the belt up the face, as opposed to this one where they machined it to where it can run all the way down. So now got to take all these screws out. Getting a little ahead of myself, but oh, there's exactly what I was wondering about. Instructions on how you put these in. Because I have no other instructions came with this. And I watched a couple of their videos, and I've got shims here that I'm guessing are for the secondary. So I'm just going to ignore those. But it didn't come with any instructions, and the couple of videos I actually found from JBS, unless I somehow missed it, didn't mention anything about those. I mean, they were more, I guess you could say, more in depth than away, because they we're also changing out the wet clutch and stuff on those kits, but like I said, all that's already been done to this one. Look at all that grease come up. It's pretty dirty. Here's the weights that are currently in it. So, go ahead and get this stator and the cover all cleaned up, and then we'll get back to putting this together. Alright, got them clean, all cleaned up. While I was cleaning, it dawned on me that this thing had gone almost 1900 miles, and when we took it apart fixing the engine, well, technically the gearing, the middle drive gear, that dust was not in this or on the stator plate here. So in the last roughly 50 miles, somewhere in that 50 miles, that one bolt that's in the middle of this cover fell out. And in that 50 miles I got that. I mean, there's even dirt dust on there. And the grease was not this thick before, it was a lot thinner, so that's how much dirt has gotten in there on everything and filled those. Just that one little bolt hole in somewhere around 50 miles. So make sure you keep an eye on those bolts. Now I know. I'm used to my Hondas. I don't gotta worry about dealing with clutches and stuff, which is actually why I like them. Well, not belt clutches, wet clutches. It's a little different. So you want to grease in here, at least for a starting cover, because from what everybody says, once it runs, the grease is going to be basically how that started out, with them all thrown against the outside cover, or it all at the outside cover. Alright. Now, like I said, I got this kit from JBS. Price is reasonable. I don't know if this is how it'll be for everybody, but I just want to put it out there, because before I bought one, there was two different companies, JBS, and I don't remember the name of the other one now, because, well, I didn't end up ordering from them, because all the forums said, don't order from these guys. It'll take forever to get it. Customer service is horrible, yada yada, all that type of stuff. And then, well, I ordered this somewhere around let's see, somewhere around May or June. I'm trying to remember now, because I started fixing this engine about, I think it was 2 months, maybe 3, before hunting season in September, because I wanted to make sure I could get it done in the little time I had here and there. And I ordered the clutch at the same time I ordered the rest of the engine parts. I can go back and look that up later, give you guys an exact date. But anyways, a couple weeks before hunting, still hadn't gotten it, so we're talking a couple months later. So I email them. They email right back, oh yes, we were waiting on a shipment of weights we've been waiting on. It'll be shipped out tomorrow. Wait another week. Nothing. They all said they're going to send me tracking number when it shipped. Still nothing. So I get a hold of him again. And he says, oh, so-and-so, I can't remember who, is handling all the shipping. I'll have her get in touch with you and let you know what's going on. Never heard anything from her. So right before going hunting, or maybe it was from getting back, I can't remember, because like, well, it doesn't matter at this point now. I'm not going to get it in time. Sent an email like, so what's going on with this? Nothing. No response back. I believe even sent another email, still no response back. You know, it was like, hey, you said so-and-so is going to get a hold of me, hasn't gotten a hold of me. All that fun stuff. Nothing. And then eventually I'm just like, well, I guess it's just going to show up eventually, because now it's past hunting season, so it didn't really matter when it got here, as long as, you know, it actually showed up. Then the old lady called the number, and at first they answered and responded, or maybe they didn't answer I don't remember, she did the phone calling, but either they didn't answer the first time, or, you know, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure they do it on the side, so whatever, you know, they can't always be there, they got other jobs going on or whatever, from what I understand from, you know, reading stuff on the forums and stuff. But anyways, she got a hold of them, and they said, oh yeah, we'll get back to you. Never got back to us. And what is this? Okay, so that was June or July, somewhere around there, that it was ordered, like 2 weeks before hunting. So August, middle of August, somewhere, started getting in contact with them, and now it is October 5th, or no, it is November 5th. Got my months mixed up. This is November 5th, and I just received this either earlier this week or the end of last week. So I did get it, and when they shipped it, they did send me a tracking number. Oh, so I got distracted on these, but on the weights, you put the flat part up against the center, and this taper here on it, I can see that on there. It's all greasy now. The taper there actually follows the taper of the bottom of that. But once I get it ungreasy, I'll show you what it shows on the only bit of instructions that came with this thing, is the weights they outsource. Alright, I'll put some grease on there like they showed. Oh, you're all supposed to fill this cubby in here with grease. There's a rag. So I'll put this up and make sure I got it all schmooed in there. Get it all in there on the groove and everything. There we go. Just rub a little extra in here from what I've seen on the things. That's the thing they say, the more grease you have in here, the longer it is before it gets diluted by dirt. Which previously wasn't an issue, but apparently that one little bolt made a mess. Alright, let me get my greasy gloves off here. Alright, we got all of those in there. Now this, Dr. Pulley, this would be the inside of the sheave, so right here or there, if you can see that one better. And then this is going to be the top plate, so this guy, and its ramp sit right on there. Which actually reminds me, I'm supposed to grease the bottom of that, so let me get my gloves back on. So, oh yeah, so back to, I guess, the story. So I don't know if they were just extra busy or what was going on, or I don't know, maybe they have family issues, I don't know. But, took a long time to get. With first contact or two was fine, and then after that, no responses. So, maybe I just kept falling through the cracks somehow. Damp hands, hard to get on. But they do come with new. Let's see what they call them. Doesn't have a name. Basically bushings for the we'll call it a spider because they're called on sleds to ride on the inside. Well, me being the smart guy that I am, I forgot how it goes on here. Looks like that way, because it's the only way it can go. Alright. And then actually, so this is a brand new, actually Yamaha sheave as well. It actually came in a Yamaha box with the Yamaha part number on it. So maybe that's part of it too. Maybe they're waiting on receiving sheaves. So it's a new sheave from Yamaha. Here, that seems like an easier way to do it. That they then machine. Should have got a grease brush. I think I like snow machine clutches better. No grease, just springs and weights. But I guess it burns the belt more than these do with their wet clutches and all that fun type of stuff. Alright, so we got that portion of the exercise complete. Oh, wait. Is there a... It's got a green mark over there. Does it got a mark on it anywhere? Just to help it go on a little bit easier. I'll put a little grease on the inside of here. Just one if there is a small leak in the seal. Hopefully the grease will catch it. And right now I'm just mainly concerned about it going on because it looked like it was a little pinched and twisted in there. Well, apparently this cover only goes on one way. Well, it looks pretty well lined up. It's just grease. Grease. Yeah, have to clean this before I put it in so I don't get grease all over my belt. Because it was a new belt 50 miles ago. Okay. I've been watching the videos. I wasn't thinking it was going to be this greasy of a job to do a clutch. I guess just because I'm used to the snow machine style. You don't play with any grease. Alright, so I'm going to get all these screws back in. And then I will be going to their website to watch their video. Make sure I didn't miss anything before I go putting all this back in. The inside part I know is good, but I'm curious about those shims, if they're supposed to maybe put... No, they're too big to go in here. They've got to be for the secondary. Maybe it's supposed to allow it to go into overdrive, maybe. Maybe there's a shim pack that limits how far it opens. I don't know how this one works. And those are thinner so it can open farther. I mean, on the snow machine ones I'm used to using shims like that for, like, well, with the Durlin washer, or what it looks like a Durlin washer, under the spring so that it twists easier. That could be all it is. There we go. Face all cleaned off. Hello?
Hey, did you want to run do a fairbanks today?
I can.
Okay, I got one available at 10 o'clock if you wanted it.
Alright, it's now a couple days later. Had to go to work. Those washers are what I thought they were for. The secondary, since I'm not doing anything with that, I'm just going to leave them out. And a clutch kit was put in this before, so I'm assuming it had those. And then also looking at their install video, they said to use these Yamaha greases. Apparently they work better, but I already got this all greased up with this, and I don't have the Yamaha greases, so I'm just going to put it in. So you want to keep that pushed forward. Can we get this in? I guess I'm going to get two hands in there and hold it. There we go. That opened up. Well, there goes that. Broke my adapter. Need a torque limiting extension. Apparently the electric one got it there. Alright, let's gotta put the cover back on. Alright, put a little grease on the snout there. This one's gonna go on. Alright, I always like to snug them with the ratchet after using the electric impact, because with the air ones you can kind of tell how tight it is or isn't getting, but this electric one, at least that I got, like, sometimes you think it'll rattle like it's tight and slow down, and you put a wrench on it and it turns easy. Sometimes it doesn't turn easy, sometimes it's super snug. And it actually seems like, well, it'll get them really tight. I mean, it took that nut before breaking the thing down to 80 foot-pounds, which is what the torque limiting extension was on the air one. But you just, yeah, never know what it's doing it at. So I like to torque them with something different, or if not torque, check them with the an actual wrench on there to see where they're actually at. Okay. Alright. I don't know where that other one ran off to, but I've got some of these that just have an 8mm head on them, just so, you know, one of those Power Sports bolt kits or whatever you can get that just have a bunch of different lengths and stuff in it. And also, for the other one that was missing here, I've got another one of them in a washer because of the way the spacer or whatever's gone too. I'm just going to put some RTV on it to seal the hole up, because you could actually see on that cover, I should have pointed out before this, but all the dirt was stuck to the cover right in front of that hole. Got some RTV glooped on there. I guess the nice thing is it'll help keep it from falling out too. Oops, I moved down. I'm really not very good at this. Put that in there. There we go. Got it all back together. We'll slap the tire on it. Take it for a little drive, see if I can, I don't know, tell a difference. And then put the tracks on it. Alright. It's now a week or so later. Had to get some wheel spacers. They're bolted on. The fronts, oh, let's go up there. The Rhino brackets don't line up exactly. You can see it kind of sticks off over there. But it is snugged between this rail and that bolt, so hopefully they won't wiggle loose. I don't know. I'll do a test drive and see. Hopefully I don't gotta modify the plates. But part of the delay was getting spacers and, well, you know, working. Because, let's get the light over here now. You can see that stub sticking out. Over 2 inches, actually. And that is not deep enough. Oh, you can actually see on this one where on the Rhino it looks like the nut was actually hitting the edges. So I winged it, kind of wanted to go 1.5 inches just to, so it wasn't out so wide, but said screw it and went 2 inch because then it'll fit for sure. And still got to work on the back bracket. It doesn't quite line up right, and with the shock in the way it's just more of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to get this other side mounted up and then get the jack out of the way and play with those brackets when I got more room to work. Oh, and I guess the Viking has 12mm studs, and I guess the Rhino must have had 10, because I had to drill those holes out for the 12mm studs to fit through them. So I'm going to get that spacer on, and then the fun part of getting the track on, and then we'll dive into the arms here. Guess because the camera's on, that one went the easiest. I actually parks out the light over here. There's two. Now I gotta rotate it and get the other two. There we go. Okay. It's a couple days later again. The plate that goes on the top, good enough. Had to notch it out deeper because the way those bolts raise up there, so you can kind of see it there. It's kind of thin, but I'm hoping it pinches it good enough. And then actually had to drill holes through that brace there. As you know, this was meant for a Rhino, not a Viking, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that all bolted on, and then it should be time to tighten tracks and test drive.